You're focused on your small update, your notes, your actions, but you're completely missing the most valuable thing that is happening in that room. Because every meeting with senior people is like a live masterclass in how they think, decide, handle conflict, and protect relationships. And no one has ever told you to pay attention to it. One of the most underrated advantages in your career, it isn't your technical skills, it's proximity. Right now, you are sitting in rooms people would probably pay thousands to be in. Conversations about strategy, risk, negotiation, high-level judgment. Most people just treat that as background noise. That's the mistake and what I call learning by osmosis. It's the quiet, natural way we absorb expertise and judgment simply by being present, just by observing. Today, I'm going to show you how to turn that into your unfair advantage without extra hours and without anyone formally having to teach you. And if you do find these sorts of insights useful, make sure to subscribe. It helps me know that this is something that is worth building. When I was starting out in audit, the work itself, so the spreadsheets, the ticking invoices, bank statements, that was important. That was my job. But the real education was happening in the audit room. I remember sitting there with the managers, directors, partners. I was hearing how they would discuss a significant finding. They were weighing up which errors were real risks or which ones were kind of just noise. I was able to watch professional judgment unfold in real time. It became even more powerful when I was able to sit in on audit committee meetings. There were CFOs, CEOs, board members. I was watching. I could see how CFOs would respond to difficult questions, how a partner could deliver tough news without losing trust. It was all about communication and decision-making. That was a masterclass in leadership and judgment. But the thing is, I didn't need to be told that it was a masterclass. I simply paid attention, absorbed it, and it started to change my understanding and how I viewed things. Let's think practically. A partner's time or the most senior person in your firm's time, it's expensive. When you're in a room with them, you're getting access to expertise worth thousands of pounds per hour. Most people ignore that value because they are so stuck in their own work. Early on myself, taking notes was how I really absorbed what was happening. I think it was a director that actually once said to me, you spend so much time taking the notes. Are you able to actually process everything? That stuck. As I progressed, I realized I didn't need to be the one that was taking minutes anymore. The real learning is always about absorbing the room, listening to the conversations, how people respond. It's how risk is weighed up, judgments are made. That's osmosis in full action. From a learning perspective, it's pure modeling. You don't learn high-stakes decision-making from a manual. You learn by watching how people frame their problems, pace their words, and project confidence. But it does only work if your attention's fully on. So even if you're still taking the notes, just make sure that you are really processing too, not just recording. So starting tomorrow, I want you to reframe your presence in every meeting. Don't just think about what you have to say or what action items you need to take. Ask yourself, what is this room teaching me today? When you do that, that's when the meetings become lessons. Leaders become these living textbooks. Pressure becomes training. It's exposure plus attention that gets you growth. And if you stay in the right rooms for long enough and you're paying attention, you'll be amazed at what you can learn. The value is noticing patterns. Here's a simple experiment for your next high-level meeting. Ask yourself these 3 questions. First, watch how they frame problems. Do they jump straight to the solutions, or do they carefully gather all the facts and define the challenge first? Next, notice how they de-escalate any tension. When someone pushes back, how does that senior person respond? Do they shut it down or do they invite collaboration? And finally, notice those moments of silence. Why do they choose certain times to speak? How does it affect the room? And look, you're not here to just copy personalities. You're here to just extract those principles, the principles of decision-making, influence, communication. And then over time, these principles compound. They might then change how you think, how you act, and just how you interpret professional situations. You don't always need a title to learn how leaders think. You just need that proximity and attention. If you want my weekly newsletter that breaks down these subtle career hacks into short, actionable insights designed to make you stand out without looking like you're trying too hard, the link's in the description. I'm Jag Dhaliwal. Let's keep looking into the subtext. I'll see you next week.